HR friends, welcome back. So we made it. We made it to the 3-5 emotional 6.5 day sequence. We are in day one, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, before we talk about day one and the zoomed in below this, we're going to really just review the overall electromagnetics for this next emotional sequence. So I've got really good news, okay? And when we talk about this, we talk about these polarity moments because what these polarity moments do is they activate our defensive design. They do this without our permission, consent, or awareness, okay? They are designed to agitate and irritate us, and what they do is they get us to either run away and ignore our problems, or they get us to invest and want to fight and argue about what we think should happen. Now, if you do either one of those things, you lose. Because what they do is they increase your stress load, they increase the stress load on the people around you, and all stress does is accelerates the aging process. And depending on what kind of stress you have in your life will depend on what diseases you will develop later in your life. You see, stress is cumulative. So what we're trying to help you do is to avoid all these unnecessary polarity moments that are trying to organize the chaos that keeps us fighting and in conflict. So the thing that we talk about is this level four. Now, whether we're looking at first person, whether we're looking at third person, or whether we're looking at the combined. Now, the combined is the easiest way to show you how this next emotional sequence is really going to be a whole lot easier than the last one. The 3-4, we were at a 4 and up to a 6 most of the time. On this one, we hit a 4 and above it, but it's intermittent, okay? So we're not gonna be as elevated, it's not gonna be as agitated, and you can see here in the first person, as we're swapping out here, this is an emotional polarity point, okay? That's what this little segment here, or this little gap here on the bottom is showing you, is there's a constant polarity moment happening. So in this first 24-hour segment, we really need to be on high alert. And we always say this anyway, because when we change out from a 3-4 to a 3-5 or a 3-5 to a 3-6, what's happening is it's a metaphorical tide change. We hit bottom tide, and now the water or the flow of the electromagnetics is going to start coming back in again. And it's going to take a good 36 hours for our bodies to get used to this. Now, when this hits low tide, which is right here at the start of the sequence, it's going to be stagnant. So it's not going to feel so much. But as the tide or the electromagnetics pick up, it's going to be tougher to stay calm. And it's going to agitate how we feel from within. Now, to us, our feelings feel real, right? That's what's true. It's our feelings are telling us what's happening. But the truth is, our feelings are being manipulated by this pattern. It's very important that you understand this because that's how you can overcome your feeling to be defensive or to run away or fight your problems, okay? That's very, very important. So this next 24-hour segment, even though that this is going to be a little bit easier transition, we still want to be on high alert, especially in first-person perspectives. We don't want to make this worse for the people we live with. We don't want to make this worse for the people we work with. We don't want to make this worse for the people that we see in our communities, all right? Let's alleviate that stress. Let's make sure we stay calm, cool, and collective today. That's how we want to start this off. All right, so that's enough about the polarity moments here. We don't have a ton to be concerned about. This is a code yellow, not a code red. It's not high alert, but it's definitely going to need your attention. All right, so let's move down here and see what these polarity points are trying to stop us from doing. So we always review the overall objective of the space-time reality. This is a sentient space-time reality, okay? Sentient just means that we're beings that have emotional and mental capacity. We can learn, and we also have emotions that we have to work through. And what these polarity points up here are doing is they're trying to stop us from cooperating as an interconnected team, okay? Now, it's pretty obvious in this space-time experience. No one can argue this. We're all born into this team not knowing what this is, and we're all born either sons or daughters. Now, this team, we categorize it as a family because everybody, that's what the structure is. Think of a family as a team. Now, the sons and daughters, they're the teammates. They're learning about the team. They're learning about their responsibilities to the team. And the fathers and the mothers, well, they're supposed to be the team captains. They're supposed to be the leaders. They're supposed to understand that they need to keep their team together and cooperative and not having conflict with one another. Now, that's half of the objective, okay? Now, you can see how those polarity points, if they're agitating us to fight with our teammates, how counterproductive that is and how that creates stress in the first person level. Now, this is not this is just half of the objective. The other half of the objective is what the team focus has to be. And what the team focus must be is our team must try to create an interconnected reality where we're equally investing every day in family, individual, world, and national routines. What do I mean? I mean, you have to productively have routines that are addressing all four of these things. And what's happened is this: our team leaders, our past team leaders, and our present team leaders haven't been getting their family to understand the importance of all four of these perspectives. We've overinvested in our individually and our family perspectives. And what this has done is it's created all kinds of families around the world that really just don't agree on how the world and the nation should work together. And the problem is we just haven't put it into our routines. Like, we're not thinking about how we have to conserve energy or conserve resources or create social structures that are going to benefit future generations. We've been more worried about how we're going to create what we need to do to support our immediate individual needs and our immediate family needs. And what's happened here is we have so many of these now that are competing. That's what's creating all of this chaos at the larger level. Now, this is very important to understand because what we've done here is we've tried to simplify this for you. These are the governing frequencies in this sentient space-time reality. And what they want to do is they want to make sure that you understand both the objective of the team and how to get along with your teammates, but also as a team, what we should be focused on. And these governing frequencies expect us to balance. And if we're not getting along with teammates or we're not balancing our routines, then we will be out of balance with these governing frequencies. If you are out of balance with these governing frequencies, these are the quadrants of your body that will be affected. The relationships and the perspectives on either side of these colored quadrants tell you exactly what relationships are connected to that part of your body. So at the individual level, every individual that has problems getting along with certain team members or isn't taking time to contribute to the world, national, individual, and family level, they are occurring damage to their body. What do I mean damage? If you're out of frequency, what happens is you will experience destructive interference. Destructive interference happens when two frequencies coincide and they don't match. And because the governing frequencies are so strong, they are going to affect us in an unpleasant way. That destructive interference is what accelerates aging and it's what leads to future states of disease. So if you want to know what parts of your body are going to have problems, it's not too hard to figure this out because, for example, if you're not on a day-to-day basis putting in your routine something to help our nation, to organize our nation, to be leaders, to help other people understand the importance of diversifying their routines and working together, then you're going to accumulate damage in your upper left quadrant of your body. And this is going to affect your joints, your musculoskeletal system, all of the different organ systems that exist in that area, heart, lungs, brain, all that stuff. So over a lifetime of not doing this, that's what will create that pattern. Okay. Now, that's what happens at the individual level. Now, at the collective level, we're also being governed as well. So in space-time reality, everything is connected and everything is proportional. So when you look at a geographic region like the United States, if everyone in the United States is underinvesting in national and world perspectives, then we're going to start to see that in social dysfunction. We're going to see like mass shootings. We're going to see unfortunate tragedies, and we're going to see weather events ramp up. All of this stuff is connected. The second an individual decides that they want to become part of this team and that they understand their responsibility to get along with every member because in truth we're all part of the same mathematical family. The second they then make sure that their routines reflect balance in all four of these categories, that individual will be in alignment with these frequencies. It will slow their aging, it can stop the progression of their disease, and if they do this and continue to do it day in and day out, they can reverse disease. Now, when we get a lot of people, not just one or two, when we get regions of people doing this, we can actually create unbelievable change, not only in our social structure, but we can minimize the damage of these powerful weather events that are literally destroying our communities. That's why Health Reconnected is doing this. We're making this as simple as possible as we can for you to understand. And this is just the mathematical construct in which we exist in. We cannot get out of this. We are in it. It is in control. It is trying to teach us, and it's teaching us through a negative biofeedback system. That negative biofeedback system is encouraging us through these points up here to make mistakes. What's accelerating that is our defensive design. You see, we're designed to make mistakes. That's why we run away from our problems or we fight our problems out. Now, if we can overcome these urges to fight or avoid our problems, and we can use our willpower and our conscious choice. You see, you're not making choice if this is manipulating you. But if you aren't manipulated by this, what you can do is you can consciously choose to be a vital member of the team. You can consciously choose to develop your team leadership skills. What does that mean? Well, once you become a leader, you don't want to just balance your routine. You want to help other people understand the importance of it. You see, we have a hard time talking to people about how they invest their time. They'll say, "Well, you're judging me, and who gives you the right to do this?" We are trying to empower everyone to understand what this is. We all need to take responsibility. We all need to take a leadership role, and we all need to be encouraging all members of our family, all members of our community to not only understand the importance of balance, but to show them through our actions, to inspire them through our actions, and to encourage them through your words. And you have to use calm, cooperative words in order to do this, because if you're fighting with people and arguing with people over this, then guess what? You've just been duped by the electromagnetics again, and you're going to fail this objective, which is going to accelerate aging. It's going to accelerate your states of disease. And when you come to our website, you're going to see there's a reward for doing this. This is purposely hard. It is purposely hard because if you achieve this, there is a fantastic reward. You get to leave this negative feedback loop and you get to transition into a positive feedback loop. All right, you can learn more about that on the website. We're going to keep moving here. All right, so let's get down here now and let's talk about the 24-hour guide. So this is the zoomed in day one, and this has got times aligned to it. And we have all 24 time zone offsets. To find your time zone offset, come down here. Once you find your offset, this will hold for 10 seconds. Take a picture of it on your phone so you have it. Now, this is for people that don't have good internet all day long. If you have great internet connection all day long, go to our homepage. We have a live feed set to universal time. A time bar will come right through here and show you exactly where these peaks are, and this is why it's so important. Anytime you get upset, anytime your feelings convince you that you need to run away or you need to argue with somebody, and you open this up and you look on your phone and see where it's at, you're going to find that it's going to be close to these peaks. 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what's happening, which means you're being fooled. This technology is designed to empower you to stop making or being manipulated by this organized pattern of chaos. It's that simple. That's how important this is. That's why we do the zoomed in 24. All right, so now we're going to talk about the alignments, okay? Now, alignments, for people that are new, alignments are when two hands of the space-time clock align. And when two hands of the space-time clock align, what's really happening is they're aligning two frequencies and they're creating an amplified moment in time. So this big long one right here, this is an amplified moment in time that's going to last quite a duration. This is a 6-hour alignment. And during that 6-hour amplification, if you're out of balance with the relationship, so if you don't get along with certain teammates consistently, or you're not balancing your routine consistently, you are going to feel negative feedback. You're going to feel something in your body, or you're going to have unfortunate experiences that are going to let you know 100% with absolute certainty you exist in a sentient space-time mathematical construct. We can prove this to you, but to do that, you got to stop reacting, you got to pay attention, and you got to want to slow the aging process, feel better, and get along. Now, those are all good reasons to do this. In addition to the one I just talked to you about, there is a reward for accomplishing this. All right, so we're going to motor through these pretty good because we've got 6 alignments to talk about. We're going to start on this side first. This is the PE. It's this guy right down here. This is going to affect right upper quadrant. It goes on for 0.75 hours. If you feel something during this amplified moment, document it. Very important we know what hurts, where it hurts, when it hurt, and when it stopped. For example, you get a headache at that time. That's a direct hit. You'd want to document that. You can use our software on our website to do a deep dive and understand the exact places that you need to start working on. So you need to expand, do better with teammates, or if you need to expand and do better with your routine, that's what that does. All right, let's keep moving here. Next one we're going to talk about is this PE. This is a time alignment on the third person side, right down here. Same thing, 0.75 hours. This is going to affect right lower quadrant. Again, if you have a hit, if something happens during this timeline or during this one, these two are the same one here. They're testing the same area. All you got to do is document that so we know what's going on. All right, next one we're going to talk about is this EE. That's this one right here. 1.5 hours, going to affect the left lower quadrant of the body. Okay. All right, let's keep moving here. Now we're going to do the MP. That was the long one. I kind of gave the explanation on for 6 hours. This one is going to be noticeable for a lot of people. These are leadership positions right here. This would be mother and father. So, leadership of the team or team captains, this is where you're required or you should be sharing your expertise and how you are balancing your perspective and encouraging other people to do so. If you're not doing that, you're not going to be in alignment with this alignment and you're likely going to feel it. This is going to cause headaches, sinus problems, memory issues, any kind of musculoskeletal pain in these upper quadrants. And this is a pretty strong and long alignment, so I expect people to notice this one. Document anything that happens. All right, next one we're going to talk about is this ME. It's an hour and a half. It's this guy right here. It's the blue one. All right, and this is relatively strong too. This is, however, going to affect left lower quadrant. All right, let's keep moving here. Since we're on this one, let's do the purple one too. This is the time alignment at ME. 3.25 hours. This is coming after the lower quadrants. So we're going to get both right and left lower quadrant. This capital M is much stronger. That's a year frequency, 3.5 hour frequency. Much more likely you're going to feel it right here. All right, so that's pretty much it for the alignments today. Now, again, just make sure you document, very important. That's how we help you the most. And you really need this so you can confirm exactly what it is we're sharing with you. All right, so now we're going to talk about the testing sequence down here. All right, and whenever we talk about these testing sequences, if the testing sequence gets above a 4, so you can see here that the upper left quadrant is below a testing sequence 4, but the upper right quadrant is above it. Same thing here. The left lower quadrant, we're right at a 4, and on the right lower quadrant, at least in the first 12 hours, we're below it, and then it pops up. So this just kind of gives you an idea of how your body's going to be affected in this next 24-hour period. Now, it's important to understand these little charts over here. This is showing you the position of the strongest frequencies and where they're parked for the next 24 hours. And what I like to do is I just like to add them up side to side. So we've got 2 here, we've got 4 here, so we've got 6 on the right, and we've got 4 on the left. Now, this is flip-flopped. The last two 24-hour periods, we were opposite, heavier on the left, lighter on the right. We just did a swap here. So, if you're wondering why your body seems to shift around and why pain patterns or tightness patterns in your body move from side to side, these are really going to help you dial in and understand why that's happening. Now, biggest thing here is how much is going on in the upper quadrants. We've got this M, we've got this M, and we've got this E frequency. They're pretty strong. And then we've got lots of P frequencies. So the P1 is the first 12 hours, the P2 is the second 12 hours. And I would expect that people are going to notice things in the upper quadrants today because of how much is going on up here. We also have quite a few in this very long upper quadrant alignment, as well as another small upper quadrant alignment. Now, are we going to feel things in the lower quadrant today too? Obviously, because of these alignments, but also because this M, this E, and this M are strong frequencies as well. Now, if I was in practice, I would still expect more going on up here, no doubt about it. And I would expect people coming in with headaches, neck and shoulder tension, and upper respiratory problems, probably getting sick or on the verge of being sick, or maybe just starting to get over being sick. All right, so that's a pretty good example or a pretty good idea of what's going to happen here in this next 24-hour period. We're going to get down here and just do a quick review. So for new viewers, we've got the entire electromagnetics for 2024 already posted. And we've done this so that you can look ahead. If you're going to travel or you're going to go somewhere, you want to know when there is going to be agitation that gets above a 4. And you're going to want to know if it's in first person or third person. It's super important because this is the unseen pattern that's creating all of the chaos, all of the arguments, and all of the stress in your life. The sooner you understand and you start to work through these moments and prepare for these moments, the sooner you're going to slow your aging, the sooner you're going to stop the progression of every disease state in your body, and the sooner this is going to get better for all of us. All right, that's a great way to end this one. We'll see you in the next 24-hour post.